The time next Sports Center after our NIT doubleheader about 11:30 Eastern with Dan and Kenny. For Larry Beal, I'm Bob Lee.
And I'm Charlie Steiner. We'll see you again back here at 6:30 Eastern Time tomorrow night. But up next, more of the NIT, Penn State and Georgia Tech.
Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta. Georgia Tech and Penn State have both rejected their first two opponents. Tonight they meet for a trip to New York. Tonight, two senior stars look to play another day and continue their collegiate careers. Penn State's shooting sensation Pete Lisicky adds the punch to the Nittany Lion offense and hopes his team can contain the inside-outside threat of Matt Harpring and Georgia Tech. The Nittany Lions against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Their first ever meeting in the NIT quarterfinals next. Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta, and the Thriller Dome saw one the other night as Georgia Tech came from way back to beat Georgetown. Tonight they have the Nittany Lions of Penn State. The survivor goes on to the semifinals in New York at Madison Square Garden. Vanderbilt and Georgia play up the road tomorrow night. Penn State, Georgia Tech, Hawaii and Fresno State out west, and Marquette and Minnesota will be our second of two games here on ESPN tonight. Welcome back to Atlanta, everybody. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley again along with you, where the other night we saw Georgia Tech pull off a miracle. They were down 12 at halftime, 16 in the second half, and came storming back to beat Georgetown. And both these programs, Larry, from a year ago, Penn State won 10 games last year, Georgia Tech only 9. Remarkable turnaround, and here both clubs are 2 games into the postseason in 97-98.
Yeah, right now Penn State's being led by a couple of guys, backcourt and front court. Pete Lisicky and Calvin Booth. Lisicky had a great game in the opening win against Ryder. Calvin Booth with a triple-double the other night, about as good a night as he's had in his whole career. These are two guys that really get it done. Lisicky shooting over 60% of his shots from beyond 3 points.
Well, you saw that sign about rejections in Atlanta. Alvin Jones had 9 block shots for Georgia Tech the other night, but their offense comes from Matt Harpring and Dion Glover.
Yeah, the freshman and the senior, the two guys have been leading them so far and really been leading them all year long. Of course, Dion Glover with that big 33 points the other night against Seton Hall, and Matt Harpring with another double-double, but we're accustomed to seeing that from him almost every night he comes out.
Matt Harpring, the number 2 scorer in Georgia Tech history. Pete Lisicky could move into the number 2 spot for Penn State tonight. The Nittany Lions and the Yellow Jackets coming up.
Okay, out there, let's get one thing straight. If you have a family, a kid, a house, you need insurance. But more than that, they need you to have insurance. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've got the body of an 18-year-old. You're going to live forever. The only thing that could do you in would be lightning or a cattle stampede. Ouch. Hey, this isn't about you. It's about your family. So protect them with term life insurance from Money. A $100,000 policy costs as little as... That's cheap. And that's per month. Guaranteed for the first 10 years. Plus, it's convenient because you can get it direct from the Money family, a name that's been around longer than you or I could ever hope to be. It's just a few dollars a month. So call them. It's quick, easy, and you can get started right now over the phone. Term life insurance from Money. It's the least you can do.
Call Money and find out how to help make your family feel more secure. If you call now, we'll even send you a calculator and insurance worksheet to estimate the coverage you may need.
There are cars that are built to appeal to your passionate side and to your practical side. For the passionate, cab-forward design, argent aluminum wheels, air, multi-valve V6, and at no extra charge, a new leather-trimmed interior with an 8-way power driver's seat. For the practical side, the new Chrysler Cirrus LXi is just $18,995. Loaded. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
This is not about fashion. This is not about the love. This is not about a ring. This is about a jersey that keeps you from having to wear your own sweat the whole game.
Nike Fit Performance Apparel. The evolution of skin.
The Big Ten and the ACC here in Atlanta tonight. And let's check the starting lineups first for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Booth, who had that sensational game Larry talked about. Jackson starts, but Jarrett Stephens comes in a lot in that front line. Ivory, Lisicky, and Joe Crispin, the freshman, had a career-high 11 assists in the win the other night over Dayton. For the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, Alvin Jones, a freshman, as is the backcourt of Dion Glover and Travis Spivey. Maddox and Harpring, the senior leadership there, playing in their final game on this floor. And Dion Glover, who's had a sensational NIT so far, including 22 points the other night and a career-high 33 in round one. Bobby Cremins, his 17th season at Georgia Tech, 326 and 203. And a win tonight would put him past Terry Holland on the ACC win list. And for Jerry Dunn, just his third season at Penn State, he's done a remarkable job turning this club around from an injury-plagued 10-17 year last season. Here they are, 17-12 on this year, and the winner tonight has a trip to New York in the semifinals. And we're underway, and it's Travis Spivey for Georgia Tech at the point.
Let's see if Penn State decides to go man-to-man or zone. They go man-to-man.
Spivey backs it down low to Michael Maddox. Maddox had it stripped on the way up. Fights for his own loose ball.
Tech really struggled in the first half against Georgetown the other night, turning the ball over 10 times. They don't want to start that half again.
It was 10 times. It seemed like 50. 10 on the shot clock on the opening possession of the game. Glover thinking about packing it back inside to Jones. He'll take the jumper instead, and Dion Glover opens the score.
Well, Glover continues to be hot in this tournament.
2-0 Yellow Jackets, and here's some full court pressure from Spivey on Crispin.
Double high post offense for Penn State. Booth pretty far out away from that basket.
Ivory not a big scorer, but he drives against Glover, trying to leave it for Calvin Booth in the lane, and it's tracked down by Crispin. And now only 11 on the shot clock because the ball was never launched by Penn State. It will be here, and a double pump by Ivory. Didn't get the roll, and Matt Harpring's got his first rebound of the night. Closing in on a 1,000-rebound career is Harpring. He'll take a three. Got it.
Oh, what a great start that is for Georgia Tech. He came out of the gate very slow the other night and really lit it up in the second half.
Crispin having to work against Spivey. Here's Lisicky from long range. That one blocks. Tipped by Glover. Georgia Tech comes the other way with a 5-point lead. Harpring picked up by Titus Ivory. Inside, Alvin Jones. The two big guys battle underneath. A couple of 6'11" players, and Calvin Booth got the best of that. I don't think that'll be called a block shot, just a strip and a steal, and Ivory on the other end is fouled by Spivey.
Tech a little bit slow getting back on defense that time on transition. Penn State pushed the ball up the floor. I want to remind you again, two of the better shot blockers in the country in this game, and maybe Jones a little leery of Booth. There's the foul committed down inside. Travis Spivey.
Titus Ivory, a freshman out of Charlotte, goes to the free throw line. Not a big scorer, averages a little over 5 a game.
I was asking the Penn State staff earlier about this young man. They say he is the best defender they have. Usually guards the best offensive player they've got in the backcourt. That's what they use him for primarily. Right now, they want him to make these free throws.
We'll probably see a lot of Dion Glover tonight before it's all over. Ivory, 74% from the stripe, got the second. And it's the first Penn State point. Glover inside to Harpring. He picks up a double team. That's been the story of his season. Right back to Harpring from Maddox in the paint, and he threw it away. Wanted to get it back out to either Maddox or Spivey, and Crispin with a steal.
Penn State being very deliberate. Nice shot.
Nice shot on the bait slide indeed by Calvin Booth. A 12-footer by Booth, and that makes it a 2-point ball game. Jones, did he push off to get that position? Nope, they'll call it against Booth.
Penn State foul on number 52.
It's always an interest to me to watch two shot blockers play against each other, you know? I mean, they're both known for shot blocking. They have shot blocking capability, but both these guys are pretty good offensively. They get the ball inside, but pretty tough to get it up against these two.
You're not kidding. 19 block shots between the two the other night. Spivey almost threw it away, trying to get it to Maddox. And kicked out by Penn State. Still Georgia Tech ball. And Harpring is saying the ball was kicked. That's what he was trying to tell the official to see if they could get a fresh 35, but they're not going to call that. They'll leave the shot clock at 28. Glover long range on the inbound play. And Lisicky chased down the rebound in the corner. Penn State a chance to tie if they score.
Penn State, as I said earlier, to be very deliberate with their offense. They're not going to get any kind of rush against Georgia Tech in a hostile environment here tonight.
Lisicky got behind a screen and buries a three, and Penn State leads.
He's moving up that career scoring list at Penn State now.
A couple more shots, and he'll be number 2. Glover lost the handle. Georgia Tech had so many unforced turnovers the other night. Just sloppy handling of the basketball on their own part. Not to mention the Georgetown defensive pressure that they saw. 10 on the shot clock for Tech. Harpring's going to pull up. That one rimmed out, and Lisicky's got another rebound.
Once again, Tech starting out very cold from the field to start the game, as they did the other night.
Booth cut off by Jones, and Jones pulls down the rebound with authority for the freshman. You get him started like that, and he can be a force during the course of the game.
You look like a bucking bronco in there. You want that saddle on him.
And last touch by Spivey out of bounds as he was forced into a double team and turned it over. Penn State with a 1-point lead here early.
There's no need to go anywhere but the Home Depot for your lawn and garden. We've got it all.
You can get wheelbarrows, you can get fertilizer, you can get
tools, shovels, rakes, hose,
bushes, shrubs, trees.
The list goes on.
Instead of just going to different places to get one of each thing, you can get everything you need for your yard right here.
If everything under one roof. And with the volume we do, you're going to get a better deal than you would somewhere else.
Whatever you need to take care of your yard, we can take care of you at Home Depot.
You should be able to get it all in one spot. I'm sorry you travel so much.
It is grounded in the belief that for ideas to take flight, they must have wings. The all-new Chrysler Concorde LXI, with a 225 horsepower engine so advanced, it provides more power yet uses less fuel. Chrysler Concorde, built on the belief that great cars appeal to a more passionate side. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. Lease an all-new Chrysler Concorde LX for just $309 a month.
My brother is stubborn.
I'm not.
Won't try anything.
Not true.
Broccoli.
Too green.
Karaoke.
Too hokey.
Then I said try 10-3-2-1.
Too new.
Saves cash on every call in the U.S.
Every call?
Quick or long.
How much?
50% off calls over 20 minutes.
Half price?
Great international rates, too.
I can call Paris?
Oui, monsieur.
Right now?
Don't have to switch phone companies.
Right here?
Just dial 10-3-2-1, then the number as usual.
This is easy. Why didn't I try this sooner? Don't push your luck.
Stubborn.
Georgia Tech scored the first 5. Penn State has scored the next 6 with 15:55 go first half.
You know, you got to make sure you're going to set legal screens. Watch this one by Carl Jackson here to free Pete Lisicky. Is he moving? Oh, yeah, you bet he is. Doesn't make any difference. Lisicky buries the 3, his first 3-point field goal of the night. Brad, I talked about this at the top of the show. Lisicky is has 62% of his shots from beyond the 3-point stripe. This guy loves rain in threes.
Absolutely. His 77th three-pointer of the year. Third team All Big Ten performer. And the kind of guy that if he gets in a groove can be downright scary from the floor.
A lot of people will tell you when you scout Penn State, you know that you've got to have screens to get Lisicky free because he's not able to put it on the floor himself. That was a good screen by Jackson. At least he got away with it.
Georgia Tech tried a little two-man trapping man-to-man defense. Booth missed again. Jones another rebound. Spivey pushes it up. Penetrates, trying to leave it in the lane for Harpring, and out of bounds. Last touch by Matt, they say. So Penn State ball and another Georgia Tech turnover.
You know, Brad, there are occasions when you got to be a little selfish. I thought Spivey should have gone ahead and taken that shot. There was nobody in front of him. He was trying to drop the ball down inside to Harpring. It was not a good place to make a pass. You were taking the shot.
Absolutely right. We were right behind it, and he had a clear path to the hole. Penn State by 1. Almost 5 minutes into the game here in Atlanta.
Look at that staggered double screen for Lisicky. Nice job by Glover.
Great bounce pass by Lisicky, but Jarrett Stephens missed in close. Georgia Tech now has gone almost 4 minutes without a field goal. Lisicky on Harpring. Great first move to the baseline by Harpring. Spivey's wide open, and he line drives a triple.
Did he ever? That shot never got but about 3 inches above the rim from the time it left his hand.
That gives Georgia Tech the 2-point lead. Loose ball on the baseline, and Penn State turns it over.
Look at Lisicky. He went after Stevenson. That's the second pass he's made to him that he's missed.
Might be the last one, right?
I want to tell you what, if you're making good passes like that, particularly Lisicky, the senior's going over there and say, hey, come on, catch these things and do something with them.
Georgia Tech up by 2. Spivey with that three-pointer the last trip down court. And an errant pass is the 4th Georgia Tech turnover.
Penn State substitution, number 45.
Booth goes out.
Number 52, Calvin Booth.
And Witkowsky comes in for him at the center spot. Michael Maddox out for Georgia Tech, and Pablo Machado comes in to take his spot. Spivey also will go out. TJ Vines, who quite frankly I think is the guy that won the game for Georgia Tech the other night against Georgetown. He's in at the point guard spot for the Yellow Jackets.
Not very often you can say that Bobby Cremins' bench got it done for him the other night, but the other night it did.
Ivory around a pick on top. Lisicky looking for a screen from Witkowsky. Back pedals, got Harpring in the air, and got an open 3.
Well, he is deadly. He is money in the bank. Harpring went right by him. You could almost feel that one hitting the net before it left his hand.
Second three-pointer for Pete. And a 1-point Penn State lead. Whistle and a foul. Dion Glover. He is pushed by Crispin.
Right, watch this excellent offensive move right here. Lisicky gives a little pump and Harpring bit. He went right by him and he just stuck it right in the bottom. Love the way this kid shoots the ball.
Harpring on the baseline, double teamed, almost threw it away. Machado got it to Jones in a reverse slam.
He had a big one the other night that brought this house down.
He shocked his own coach, Bobby Cremins, with his offense the other night. He didn't start the game because he was late for a team meeting. When he came in, he became a force not only defensively with those 9 blocks, but as Larry said, he started lighting it up a little bit inside with his offense too. Glover on the rebound. Man down is Machado as Glover takes it coast to coast.
I think Machado might be hurt. He looked like he might have hurt his knee.
He has had problems this year and missed 10 games with a sprained right knee and a bad shoulder, and he hobbles off. Looks like he's holding his left ankle.
Yeah, it is his ankle. Here's the play underneath. Look at Lisicky. See, there goes Machado down.
I think his own man got him. Friendly fire. Looked like Glover may have hit his Achilles or his ankle. And Georgia Tech was a man short there for a second. Glover just came off the bench out of nowhere.
Cremins had to push him on the floor.
Yes, he did. Penn State was in the power play there for a second. Glover with a rebound off the miss by Stevenson.
But there were 4 guys around that net.
That's true. And the guy underneath wasn't wearing a mask. Georgia Tech leading by 3. Jason Floyd, he's had a pretty good NIT through 2 rounds off the Georgia Tech bench, especially the first game against Seton Hall. He had 13, has it knocked away from him. He's a good outside shooter as well.
Substitution. Number 33, Titus Ivory.
Brings Ivory back in. And Greg Graves, a good 3-point shooter, also into their backcourt. He'll pick up Vines.
Penn State's got to do his zone now. They're matching up.
Well, the zone gave Georgia Tech fits the other night until the late stages. Glover feeds Harpring with 4 on the shot clock. I don't think Tech knows there's no time left. Floyd would have been a shot clock violation. It didn't hit the rim.
It was a violation. Brad, I'll watch this the next time down, but I think they had a box and chaser that time, and they had Ivory on Harpring. The other 4 players were playing zone.
Vines with some one-man pressure on Graves. Good movement by both teams. Penn State offensively, and Georgia Tech moving their feet well on defense.
Well, coming down quickly on that ball. Good switch by Maddox, good switch back.
Under 10 on the shot clock for Penn State. Stevenson in trouble on the baseline, throws one up there in a double team, and second effort by Stevens underneath. Jarrett Stephens muscles one in.
It almost looked like Maddox and Harpring were battling each other and lost the ball.
Harpring on the offensive end, wants to get it into Michael Maddox. Harpring around a Maddox screen. Got the jumper and a chance for a 3-point play.
Penn
Well, Matt Harpring finds ways to get three-point plays, whether it's from beyond the stripe or drawing the foul. Witkowsky got him on the elbows. He went up.
Substitution number 4, Alvin
Well, the youngster from Dunn, Georgia, has a chance to add another point to his total.
He's got 5 tonight.
23, Gyasi Cline-Heard.
And those are the points remaining to be number 1 in all-time Georgia Tech scoring. It would take a career night for Matt, but he's capable of it. And he's off to a tremendous start. 6 points here for Harpring. A 4-point Georgia Tech lead with just under 11.5 to go first half.
Bet you Bud Light, my friend here, can beat you.
Yeah, right. Okay, pal, you're on.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
This would be mine.
Make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light says my friend here can beat you.
The Best Western in New York City is conveniently located right in the middle of everything. Best Western, across the street from Ordinary.
Some decisions are harder than others. The Chrysler Sebring LXI Coupe or the Sebring Limited Convertible. For the passionate side, fully independent suspension, speed-sensitive steering, multi-valve V6, and a luxurious leather-trimmed interior. The practical side, lease the convertible from just $299 a month. And on the coupe, get $1,000 cash back and luxurious leather at no charge. Some decisions are easier than others. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
That was a Penn State fan at Alexander Memorial Coliseum. His team's down 4.
You know, Brad, we've been talking a lot about Pete Lisicky's shooting ability. Well, look at this nice pass to Jarrett Stephens right here. He just missed that layup wide open underneath. Now, once again, he gives it to him, and then it goes right off of his foot. He says, no, it's the other guy. Now, look at Lisicky. He said, look, that's 2 in a row. When I give you the ball, do something with it.
I don't think those are the words he used, but you have a good point there. Georgia Tech 5 turnovers early, but they still lead by 4 thanks to 60% field goal shooting for the Yellow Jackets so far. Lisicky gets a breather.
You sure those are the words you did?
All the folks that can lip read, I think Larry was gracious with what he had to say. Booth against Jones. The kick back outside to Grays. He'll take the outside jumper and got it. Just inside the three-point line.
Basket by Greg Graves.
Putting a defensive work, too, outside by T.J. Vines, who was still able to get it down. Now Penn State's going to switch defenses again. They've gone back to a straight man-to-man.
Harpring with Ivory on him. He's double-teamed. Fades in the lane. Didn't get the roll. Jones was battling 3 Nittany Lions and lost the battle to Titus Ivory for the rebound. And a steal by Michael Maddox. He's got Jones in front of him. And then back to Maddox. And he got the lay-in.
I'm not sure that's exactly what they had planned, but it ended up being the right result. Watch again. Here's the steal by Maddox. Now he's trying to gather himself, get the ball underneath, throws the ball up to Jones. He's got a dunk and throws it back to Maddox, who just barely got it up over the rim and it rolled in. Why didn't Jones go ahead and dunk it? He wanted to give his teammate a chance.
Yeah, you got to love the freshman giving it up for the Georgia Tech senior. Mike Maddox playing his final game on this floor tonight. And his opening 3 points has stretched Georgia Tech's lead back to where it was at the beginning of the game, up by 5.
Lisicky replacing number 42, Greg Stevenson.
Lisicky back in for Penn State, so their main weapon is back on the floor.
A little pressure from Tech that time. Not a whole lot to be concerned about for Penn State.
Ivory got a screen from Booth and then goes right back to it. Booth spinning on the baseline. Left-handers blocked by Jones.
I know that Booth has not seen a shot blocker of the ability that he has.
Glover lost the ball. And the other way, Lisicky reverse layup, put the spin on it, and Booth had to follow up.
Lisicky almost made a great athletic play that time.
Nice follow by Booth. Past the midway point first half. Georgia Tech 18, Penn State 15. Quarterfinal play here tonight. The winner goes to the NIT Final Four in New York next week. Here's Alvin Jones on offense. Over the back foul on Michael Maddox, trying to work for that rebound.
Good work by Titus Ivory on the inside on the block out on Maddox. Watch this. Calvin Booth wants to go up, and he says, yeah, I can do this. I've been doing it all year. Not against one of the best shot blockers in the country. What if they exchanged notes before the game? Nice play by Lisicky here, and then Booth with a nice follow-up.
Lisicky open on the baseline. You can't give him that much room.
You know, Buddy Cremins knows that too, and he's got Dion Glover, and Glover was right with him.
Tied for the first time tonight, even at 18.
Once again, Penn State changes defense. They go back to a man-to-man.
Glover down on the low block to Maddox. There's two-play catch on the left wing, and Maddox spun down on the baseline and stepped on it. Turnover, Georgia Tech. Tomorrow and Friday on ESPN on SportsCenter's NCAA specials. Be sure to be around 5 o'clock Eastern. Chris Fowler, Dick Vitale, Digger Phelps, and Quinn Buckner give you the latest on the NCAA men's tournament. Then at 12:30 Eastern, join Mike Tirico with Dick and Digger. They'll wrap up the day in the NCAA tournament. That's tomorrow and Friday on ESPN. Brad Nessler and Larry Connolly with you here tonight at Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Third round game here. Ivory missed. Jones and Booth battle, and Booth steps out of bounds. And Harpring's going to check back in for Georgia Tech. And Joe Crispin back into the Penn State lineup. And Harpring 6 of Georgia Tech's points so far tonight. And Lisicky has 9, all on three-pointers.
Georgia Tech substitution number 11.
You know, when you're shooting over 60% of your shots down to 3 points, right? Why not?
That's
right. Shooting that kind of average.
Light it up. Jones working against Booth in the lane, and he got it.
Well, I tell you what, if there's been one player I have noticed this year who's made great strides in his game, it's got to be Jones. I mean, from the first game to where he is today.
Nice leave underneath for Booth. Crispin with a beautiful dish.
I think Jones is going to pick up the foul. Booth with a nice roll to the basket.
Basket by number 52, Calvin Booth.
Watch it again. Now Jones is going to go inside. Got a chance for a block, but the nice bounce pass by Crispin got the ball to Booth. And once again, Booth with a nice roll, and a foul by Jones as he went up.
Calvin 6 points already tonight. He's a good free throw shooter as well. 7 on the night to give Penn State a 1-point lead again. At the 8-minute mark here in the first half. Harpring squares to the basket, and Fox Glover all alone on the right wing. Missed the three. And Lisicky's wide open down court.
He'll even take a 2 on occasion when it's that easy.
And Penn State with its biggest advantage. Up by 3. And a moving screen on Matt Harpring. With 7 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the first half. Nittany Lions of Penn State have come back, and they lead by 3.
For us, it's what's inside that really counts. Hey, just look at our new Chevy Blazer. It's got a great-looking new interior. We got a terrific deal.
We shop Chevy.
It's true. It's only $349 a month for 36 months with a $724 initial payment. With this new interior and Blazer's driver control system...
We drive everywhere.
Well, we do. So the story is our new Chevy Blazer at $349 a month.
It's a beautiful thing.
Inside and out.
Shop Chevy Blazer now.
Plug in a Toshiba from Advanced Business Equipment, and you're in business.
If you're in business, you don't need an MBA to know that tying up your working capital in office equipment isn't always a good idea. That's why Toshiba and Advanced Business Equipment came up with this great idea. Right now you can lease this Toshiba copier and this Toshiba plain paper fax for 0 money down and 0 interest for only $99 a month. It's an incredible offer and one we're happy to make because we think you should keep your working capital where it belongs, at work.
ESPN magazine is gonna be fat. But please, no swimsuits.
Yeah, no bikinis.
No one pieces.
No thongs.
None of that. All nude. Tastefully done.
But definitely all nude.
That's important.
Very important.
Yeah.
To be tasteful.
Penn State up on Georgia Tech 23-20 here in the first half. Watch this move down inside by Alvin Jones. Now, Calvin Booth is looking for his 129th block of the year, but Jones makes a nice spin move around him. Booth couldn't reach it. Nice offensive maneuver right there by the Georgia Tech freshman.
Both 6'11" centers have had good starts. 5 rebounds, 4 points already for Jones. Each have a block shot. As we said, they're in the top 3 in shot blocking. Actually, Booth is listed ahead of Jones, but Jones has more blocks on the year. But Georgia Tech has played more games, so if that makes any sense to you. One guy has 139 blocks, one has 129.
Little half-court trap by Georgia Tech.
Penn State spreads it out a little bit, trying to find an open man for an outside jumper, knocked away by Floyd, but it comes free to the line. Crispin dishes off to Booth. He's going to take a 15-footer. Rebound, Spivey. Tech basically with their 2 point guards in there, Vines and Spivey.
Cline-Heard did a tough, good defensive work on Harpring.
Jones a dangerous
what a pass.
Spivey got one to Harpring, and Matt just lost the handle.
I tell you, it was not the result of a bad pass by Travis Spivey. It was right in his hands. A behind-the-back job on the baseline. And Matt's pounding himself in the chest saying, yeah, that was my fault. Look at this. Spivey comes up with it, a little whip. There it is. And he just lost the ball.
Penn State on a 10-2 run over the course of the last 4 minutes. Crispin found an opening from 3. Booth, nice position for the offensive rebound. And then he threw it away. P.J. Vines, the little guy, goes all the way and spins on the baseline. Harpring almost tipped it in. And now Vines strips it away from Crispin on the other end. Lisicky's wide open, though. He's killing Georgia Tech outside the arc. 14 points, 4 threes tonight. 14 of the 26. If Georgia Tech doesn't find Pete Lisicky defensively, they're in a heap of trouble tonight because he is feeling it. Jones, inside move is a good one. Off the glass, a little short, though.
Penn State with a quasi-break right now. They're not pushing it real fast up the floor, but they're looking for their opportunities.
They've been playing so well in the half-court game, freeing up Lisicky. They probably don't want to rush anything. Stevens lost the handle. Goes down hard, and Vines clears it out for Spivey. Harpring, he'll try a triple. Whoa! That thing did everything but go down. Did you hear that?
It rattled about 3 times up there.
Sounded like the snare drum in the Tech band. And Penn State, Bobby Cremins might want to think about a 20.
Nice move by Greg Graves right down in the paint area. He went right inside and challenged Jones.
28-20. And there you see Bobby Cremins come to his feet. 20-second timeout taken by the Yellow Jackets. They want to slow this Penn State thing down right now if they can.
Greg Graves is known for his long-range jump shooting. This time he takes it down inside. Jones almost got his fingertips on that one, but he didn't. And an easy basket for Penn State as Graves delivers. And Penn State's up by 8.
Coming up next on ESPN, more quarterfinal action from the NIT. It's a battle of Goldens, the Golden Eagles of Marquette at the Barn, Williams Arena in Minneapolis, to take on Clem Haskins' Golden Gophers. That's coming up next. Greg Bowler, Jack, and Jimmy Dykes standing by in Minneapolis. They probably spent yesterday at Rosen's warming up for that game. So,
are you familiar with that?
Yeah. Harpring for Georgia Tech leads the way with 6 points right now. The word on Pablo Machado. He does have a sprained ankle and may return, but right now he's got the shoe off and the ice on it, and the longer that is the case, he'll never get that shoe back on. He'll probably scratch him from the Tech lineup. Great feed. Spivey to Matt Harpring.
Penn State went back to a zone defense that time, and Harpring stood wide open on the block. Good look inside by Spivey.
That stops the 15-2 Penn State run. Fade away by Crispin.
Well, the backcourt of Penn State getting it done right now.
30-22. Harpring open on the baseline. It's short. Alvin Jones keeps it alive. He'll try one. Didn't get the roll. The tip-in's good, though.
Harpring got it right on his fingertips.
10 points for Harpring. Long-range shot this time. Cleared out of there by Spivey for Georgia Tech. And he's going to push it. Harpring free on the baseline, but he had it stripped from behind. Good job by Graves defensively. Now he'll try it on the offensive end. Witkowsky was all alone, but Harpring tipped it to Jones. Dion Glover playing one-on-one with Lisicky and lost the ball out of bounds. Georgia Tech with 11 turnovers, and they trail by 6 with 3:33 to go first half.
This is one of a kind. This is a very sensitive environment. I'm an environmental biologist and I work for Mobil. When oil is found in a place like Newfoundland, you have to be careful because the sea, the wildlife, but also this culture is very unique, rich in traditions. It takes a lot of communication between Mobil, our partners, and the community. When the Hibernia platform was towed up, it was a great day here. I'm really proud about the homework that Mobil has done. We work very hard to make sure that we are welcome guests in this country.
Shopping for a new computer? Circuit City has guaranteed low prices on the latest top brand systems. Save $150 on this Packard Bell system with color monitor and Canon BubbleJet color printer. Only $1199.99 after instant discount. Or save $200 on this IBM ThinkPad multimedia notebook with 32 megs of RAM. Only $1599.99 after instant discount. And get the music from the year's biggest movie. The Titanic soundtrack is just $13.99 right now at Circuit City.
A little Yellow Jacket fan sees her team down by 6 with 3:33, sitting on the coach's wife's lap there.
Sometimes you wonder why offensive guys are so wide open. Well, you got to know how to handle the defense. Sometimes you just put them on their backside, and you do get open. Matt Harpring with an easy catch against that zone defense, and Lisicky just had nothing to do but watch.
Matt Harpring with 10 points on the night. Lisicky has 14 for Penn State. There's Matt's numbers, and now is just 23 points short of becoming Georgia Tech's all-time leading scorer. If Georgia Tech lives to see another day and gets a game next week in New York, Matt, barring a catastrophe, would take over that #1 spot in score, or if he had a tremendous second half tonight. But he hopes this is not his final game in a Yellow Jacket uniform. Right now his team down by half a dozen with 3:20 left first half. Lisicky working against Spivey, who almost came up with a steal.
Good job by Glover to shut off Lisicky. He got to him after Spivey went by him.
8 to shoot for the Nittany Lions. Crispin going to work against Glover. Fades on the baseline. Not a good shot. And Glover will have the carom in the corner, and he's fouled.
You know, that is only the, what is that, the 15th foul against Penn State? Yeah.
Penn State foul on number 23.
Well, Georgia Tech gets the ball back.
That's his second, 15th.
Looking to cut into the lead. We have had only
Penn State substitution, number 31, Jarrett
5
Stephens.
free throws in the entire game. 3 by Penn State, a couple by Georgia Tech. There's the team foul score, and that's the reason why we haven't had a lot of free throw line activity in this game so far. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you. Quarterfinal play tonight. The winner goes on to New York next week for the NIT Final Four. Foul underneath.
Titus Ivory is going to pick it up. He's trying to guard Harpring. Matt's very good at flashing across that post area, moving toward the ball, and he couldn't beat him there, so he just reached out and grabbed him.
So one more, and Georgia Tech will shoot free throws. But for now, a fresh 35, and Harpring will inbound to Glover. Spivey's all alone to take the shot. I'm not sure why. He worked for that one instead. I guess he knew his spot, huh?
He knew exactly what he was doing.
That cuts the Penn State lead to 4. Georgia Tech crowd has been behind this team through the first 2 rounds and helped elevate their game for a miraculous comeback against Georgetown the other night, and now they're asking for a little bit of defense here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Crispin with 10 on the shot clock, cross-courts it, wide open is Ivory. He launched a 3. Rebound, tough one by Stevens underneath, and he got the bucket.
I'm going to tell you what, he was battling a lot of Georgia Tech people in there. Penn State doing nice work on that offensive glass.
Jarrett's 6'7", but he goes about 260, and he knows how to use that size underneath. 6-point game again. Glover on the baseline, trying to roll one into Maddox. And too lazy a pass, but it is knocked out of bounds by the Nittany Lions. So Georgia Tech gets it back with 13 on the shot clock. 1:32 remaining in the first half.
When Penn State's in a man-to-man defense, Georgia Tech really working to get the ball to the inside, either to Harpring or to Maddox.
8 to shoot. Glover spins in the lane, trying to follow his own miss. And the ball comes out to Crispin. Penn State looking to extend their lead here before the break. Up 6 right now. Booth over Jones, hit the side of the backboard somehow from that spot, and Harpring has the rebound. Maddox wide open. He's a good outside shooter, but he clanged one there off the back of the iron.
Georgia Tech all of a sudden has gotten very cold from the field, having difficulty getting the ball to the inside.
Jerry Dunn wants a 20-second timeout for Penn State with 53.7 remaining in our first half. We remind you to stick around for halftime. Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps will be in the ESPN studios. They'll have an NCAA preview for you. Have Majerus on Catlett and Drexler a Cougar coach. How unbelievable is that going to be? Clyde the Glide wearing the suit and tie on the sideline. I love it. Chris and Digger coming up in 54 seconds.
Watch this good strong rebound on the inside. Look at that. Nobody but Georgia Tech people around Stevens, and he was still able to get it up. He even got it over Jones' outstretched arms. Good, strong offensive rebound. Penn State doing a nice job. Now they've got a chance to really build a good lead going into halftime.
Under 50 seconds. Speaking of Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson, the all-time NBA greats here in attendance tonight. 12 on the shot clock. Spivey trying to play Crispin close. A little half-court trap there as Maddox comes over to help out. They're going to have to launch one pretty soon. Crispin found a man on the baseline. Stevens, beautifully done.
Well, Crispin had 11 assists the other night. I can see why he is such a great passer. He makes the pass timely and gets it to the right man in the right place.
So Georgia Tech is in a hole by 8. Same kind of story they had the other night against Georgetown. The hole's not as deep. Georgetown led by 12 in intermission on Monday. Tech looking to score here before the break, though. Harpring, nice spin move, trying to get it to Spivey, threw it away to Stevens. He's going to have a layup. Nope, it's blocked by Glover. At the last instant, Dion Glover saved this from being a 10-point Georgia Tech halftime deficit. They are down 8 at the break. And Pete Lisicky has done the damage we said he would do. From long range, 4 of 6 outside the arc. And it's the Nittany Lions by 8.
All right, Brad. Well, it's not as bad a first half for Georgia Tech as it was on Monday. It'd be impossible to play any worse than they did against Georgetown. And so far, Lisicky winning the battle of seniors who are trying to extend their career over Harpring.
Well, Harpring wants to get there to New York because he was frustrated. We saw that in the ACC tournament when they lost a little confrontation on the bench with one of the players. But Pete Lisicky, ever since Danny Earl went down, he's been hurt for 2 years, Danny Earl. That backcourt with Lisicky and Earl would have been one of the best backcourts in the Big Ten. They probably would have been at the other party going on in the NCAA tournament. But now Lisicky knows this is his last shot to do something big for Penn State, and he is absolutely on fire in the first half. When they were down, he's the guy that hits the pressure threes.
And when we come back at halftime, we'll look at the NIT bracket and the other party, as you put it, and challenge Gail Catlett to Rick Majerus. We'll tell you about it.
ESPN's presentation of the NIT is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your 4x4, the Michelin LTX. Michelin technology gives it a smooth, quiet ride. Yet it's tough enough, Michelin enough, to get you through anything.
I never thought when my son moved away that I wouldn't see him for 3 years. Even my dad used to say farmers don't get vacations. But this is one trip I wasn't going to miss. It's just a tractor for my grandson.
How old?
6 weeks. He'll play with it when he's older. Every father hopes his son follows in his footsteps. But farming's not easy. The green and yellow means it's a John Deere. My grandfather had one of these. I brought this for when he's older. It was so different seeing how my son had built his own life.
Hey, Dad, I gotta show you something.
He got a John Deere.
Of course.
But it was nice to know he could still appreciate where he came from.
Introducing the LT-133 from John Deere. At under $2,000, it's possibly the best lawn tractor ever built. And it's the only one with a past as bright as its future.
The Michelin X1. Thanks to Michelin technology, it gives you long mileage and better wet braking than any rain tire. And that should make everyone on a wet road happy.
Falling in love again, never wanted to. What am I to do? I can't help it. Love's always been my game. Play it how I may. I was made that way. I can't help it.
At halftime, the Nittany Lions an 8-point lead over Georgia Tech. The winner goes to New York as part of the Final Four of the NIT. Quick check of the bracket. For the first time, the NIT committee kind of going with theme brackets. We see that Vandy and Georgia, the two survivors out of a bracket that was heavy with the SEC, they'll take on the winner of the game you're watching. That Vandy-Georgia game is tomorrow. Marquette and Minnesota is coming up next.
Well, Georgia really has earned that home game against Vanderbilt because they played so well, winning 2 games on the road, and I really thought they were just awesome last night, winning at NC State. Their defense was tough. NC State had like 8 points the first 15 minutes, but Georgia's the team to beat, in my opinion.
And Marquette and Aaron Hutchins play at Minnesota. A clear scouting report for the Golden Eagles. Aaron Hutchins says knows nothing about Minnesota except that it's, quote, cold, and they have a big mall there. So obviously his head ready for that game number 2 tonight. Meanwhile, in the NCAA tournament, East Region game tomorrow night, the game that's being considered as the other regional semifinal, the warm-up act for the Tar Heels in Greensboro against Michigan State is the game of the Huskies versus the Huskies. Both teams say they are in a good mindset.
Still very loose. We had 3 days of good practices. We worked hard, and we feel like we're ready to throw the ball up tomorrow night. And I think we just feel very good about being in the Sweet 16. And Washington's a good team, but I think we're ready to come out and play Connecticut basketball for 40 minutes.
I think that we're a pretty loose group right now. We know that there's a lot of people who didn't even expect us to be here and don't expect us to win the game tomorrow, but that doesn't really matter to us.
Well, we take a look at the inside game. Todd McCullough's a challenge for Jake Bosco and company because he can flat out play. 31 points, 18 rebounds. He blocked 1 shot, and his size factor really can become a problem in a half-court game when you take a look at what he brings to the table. But basically, I feel this way, Chris. Xavier, even though they lost, Xavier forced 26 turnovers, and we know UConn wants to go after you full court, and Washington also shot 10 for 21 on the foul line because I think a full court pressing game really will bother Washington, wear them down, and that's got to be a tech. Otherwise, a half-court game, that front line with McCullough is pretty tough.
There's so few dominating centers anymore in college basketball. When you face one, it sometimes is an adjustment. UConn's forced a lot of turnovers, but their opponents shooting 46% in the first 2 games. That's by far the worst opponent's field goal percentage defense. Coming up, more on the NCAA tournament, the humorous matchup between Majerus and Catlett, and some, I couldn't call sparks, but interesting moments at the press conference. At halftime, Matt Harpring and the Jackets are down 8 to Penn State.
Early Saturday, Mama sent Dad to the store. There was rain and sleet, man did it pour, but I had no fear, and you want to know why? At the wheel of the M class, I had the big guy. Oh, well, a big bad bully cut us off on a whim. No sweat, 'cause Dad swerved right around him. And why do I love him with all my affection? He bought the M class for my protection. He's big, he's bad, he's a big bad dad.
The M class has more safety systems than any 4x4.
At a time like this, there are several things you might find useful. Some more useful than others. To build, test, and manage business software, 4 out of 5 of the world's largest corporations rely on CompuWare. What do you need most?
You haunt me, my friend. Everywhere I go, you're there. Kiev, Buenos Aires, Budapest. But not this time. At long last, victory is mine.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
What?
Sometimes all a man needs to become president,
I'm gonna win this thing.
is a little help from his friends.
I'm going to want a signed confession.
John Travolta, Emma Thompson, Primary Colors.
Damn, this is gonna be rough.
Rated R. Starts Friday.
Welcome back. Looking ahead to the other Western region in tomorrow's NCAA tournament. This game, like the other game we were talking about, Washington and UConn, this is also the other regional semifinal game before the Arizona-Maryland tilt. Utah and West Virginia, they have one thing in common. They both lost the first game in their conference tournament. Other than that, these coaches don't have a whole lot in common.
I wish Rick and I could tee it up tomorrow at 4:50 at midcourt and play one-on-one. Whoever wins advances. Because I can whip his butt. I wasn't a very good player, but I can whip him. He wants to play me one-on-one? Oh, God. He's been in West Virginia too long. I never heard of anything like that before in my life. He's saying he can beat me one-on-one. I think the guy's in his 50s for sure, isn't he?
Coach Catlett is 57 for the record. Rick hoping not to take it on the chin from the Mountaineers. They give Catlett the edge in quickness. Rick is more of a low post guy.
Rick's going to post them up and take them out, but he's already got that one little shot to the charge. But West Virginia, you got to love their pressure defense. They play two styles. They want to pressure full court, but they also want to play some zone. But their pressure defense really drove Cincinnati wacky because Cincinnati ends up with 22 turnovers. Another factor about West Virginia's bench, they were out 10-0 against Cincinnati's bench, so they got bench problems when you take a look at that consistency. 5 players, 5 seniors, 5 players in double figures. They're capable of these runs. This is a 16-4 run. And what I think they may do, Chris, take a look at what brings Utah to the table. One guy, Andre Miller. So you go to a full-court press. You trap him. Once he gives it up, don't let him get it back. Let everybody else handle the ball. Force that running game trying to get the turnovers. At half court, you play zone so Andre Miller can't penetrate. I think this should be the defensive attack that you might see what West Virginia can do to try to pull this off against Utah. But I want to see that. Will that go 15 rounds?
Go with Catlett and Majerus? The plan is always to do that against Andre Miller. Kentucky tried it for years. He survived the Arkansas pressure in the last round. We're here at 6:30 to preview the games. 12:30 to 1 a.m. as Dick Vitale rejoins us for highlights and analysis.
For us, it's what's inside that really counts. Hey, just look at our new Chevy Blazer. It's got a great-looking new interior. We got a terrific deal.
We shop Chevy.
It's true. It's only $349 a month for 36 months with a $724 initial payment. With this new interior and Blazer's driver control system...
We drive everywhere.
Well, we do. So the story is our new Chevy Blazer at $349 a month.
It's a beautiful thing.
Inside and out.
Shop Chevy Blazer now.
At STS, we want you as a tire customer. STS Tire and Auto Centers offer you a great selection of name brand tires, convenient locations where you live and work, express tire service to speed you on your way, and low tire prices. Stop in today and get 4 tires starting as low as only $69.95. That's right, 4 tires for only $69.95. Who sets the pace in customer satisfaction? STS, yes.
What goes downstairs alone or in pairs and even goes off-road. A thing, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Amigo. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. Amigo, amigo, it's fun for a girl and a boy. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
Amigo, new from Isuzu, battery included.
The new coach for the University of Houston Cougars expected to go from the NBA court back to the classroom. Then he decided to take a detour and go to the bench. Clyde Drexler, after he's done playing with the Rockets this season, will head back and become Houston's coach. Of course, Clyde, in the middle 80s, part of Phi Slamma Jamma, Houston's greatest era ever. Here's today's pep rally.
I thought about coming back to the university, taking a year off, continuing my education, working on getting my degree. And that was my first and foremost thought. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, that would be great. I could coach too.
Well, he's all smiles and he seems kind of cavalier, but what will be tougher about this than Clyde realizes?
Well, as a player, you can dominate. As a recruiter, you got to learn how to dominate recruiting, plus you got to learn how to coach the college game. It'll be an easy transition for him until the honeymoon starts next season. They lost 20 games this year. He's got to find 2 good assistant coaches to get him over that period of adjustment.
That helps the baptism by fire. Right now, at halftime, Penn State on the road in Atlanta with an 8-point lead thanks to the senior Pete Lisicky, who's got 14 for the Lions.
Great. Man, that tune-up.
These AC Delco parts are about the most dependable you can buy. They should really help improve your performance.
Come on, they're all the same. I'll take some out of this bushel basket.
Okay.
AC Delco. No matter what you drive, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
And now, a gentleman for whom no goal is too great to achieve, no obstacle too difficult to overcome. Please welcome the Executive Vice President of West Coast Operations, Steve Doppelt.
Took weeks from news to reach its destination. Today, neither time nor distance can keep us from sharing our lives.
Breathe, honey. Hey, you get another contraction? Counting. 5, 6, 7.
Philips introduces ISIS, the cellular phone that can let you talk up to 6 long hours.
I love you, honey. Honey?
ISIS from Philips.
What goes downstairs alone or in pairs and even goes off-road. A thing, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Amigo. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. Amigo, amigo, it's fun for a girl and a boy. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
Amigo, new from Isuzu, battery included.
ESPN's presentation of the NIT is brought to you by Isuzu, builders of the completely reinvented 1998 Isuzu Rodeo. Isuzu, go farther.
Halftime in Atlanta, and the Nittany Lions of Penn State on the road again, and doing a good job of it tonight, leading by 8, 34-26. Welcome back to Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley. Like the Georgetown game the other night, Georgia Tech too many turnovers with 12. The problem they had tonight, they've got a red-hot shooter in Pete Lisicky on the other side.
And he's doing it from beyond the three-point line. Let's take a look at some of the highlights in the first half. We'll show you exactly what we're talking about. Pete Lisicky got it done with 14 points. Watch the double screen here for him. Glover tried to get to him. goes to the bottom of the net. Nice pass here by Joe Crispin to Jarrett Stephens. Crispin with 3 big assists in that first half. In fact, there's one of the big numbers, Brad. Only 4 turnovers for Penn State in the first half.
They have taken care of the basketball, and Georgia Tech, which has been their story all year, have not taken care of the ball. And the three-point shooting, the difference there. Georgia Tech normally a better team outside the arc than they have been, at least in the first half. But we know that they stormed out in the second half against Georgetown the other night. They're going to have to hope for more of that in the final 20 minutes here. The top 2 scorers are the 2 seniors. One will be playing his final game. Will it be Pete Lisicky or Matt Harpring? We'll find out. 20 minutes left, and we're underway second half.
Glover with good pressure out front on Crispin. Harpring all the way out on Ivory.
Crispin dishes in the paint to Booth, and turnover as Maddox comes up with a steal. Jones almost wipes out Spivey on the break, and it's Spivey all the way. Getting back the other way, Crispin misses. Maddox another rebound. Harpring on the outlet. If he can find the handle, he does.
Brad, this is just what happened in the Georgetown game the other night. Tech got hot to start the second half. Look at this crowd. They're ready.
Georgia Tech immediately cuts into the Penn State lead down to 4. Booth, Jones behind him, has to kick it outside to Ivory. He gave up an open shot. And Stevens on the reverse layup, missed it. Alvin Jones the rebound. Georgia Tech can make it a 2-point game if they score.
Jones intimidated Stevens that time.
Harpring trying to find the handle and is fouled by Ivory.
Great start to the second half for Georgia Tech. Travis Spivey coming up with the basketball, gets around Lisicky out on the wing and goes right to the basket. Good move. Then on the other end, Harpring with a good long pickoff. Didn't have to put it on the floor, went right off the window with it. Good start for Tech. Begin the second half.
Harpring down low, wants to get it back out to Maddox. Now he backs in. He does get it to Michael. Glover lost the handle and somehow found it just long enough to put it in the basket.
Already 3 quick baskets by Georgia Tech.
6-0 start to the second half for the Ramblin' Wreck. And Glover.
I think it's obvious that Bobby Cremins has told his backcourt to start putting pressure on the Penn State offensive guards. See Cremins over there imitating defense. I know he never played it.
Yeah, we know he couldn't shoot either.
Good move that time by Glover.
He had to have done something well at South Carolina. Nice give and go. Stevens out of control, offensive foul. And that hurts both guys. Jones goes down hard, so did Stevens.
Stevens a pretty big guy going through there, 250 to 255, somewhere in that area. Alvin Jones trying to set up to block another shot. He didn't have to. He got position to draw the charge. Nice play.
Alvin Jones was thinking sports car, and he got a pickup. He got hit pretty good. Chance for Georgia Tech to tie if they score this trip. Harpring around a screen. Fouled by Stevens, his second this half. And Glover and Harpring have a little conference. The freshman and the senior.
And Harpring trying to get to the inside. What's his isolation on him? See the screen right there set by Maddox? A little push off. Oh, I'm not sure they didn't get a lot of ball that time.
Only one tie tonight. This is for a Georgia Tech lead, and it goes. And Harpring does a little dance on the follow-through. Georgia Tech has run out 9 straight points.
Harpring did that in the second half the other night. Came out and gave his club a big lift. Booth with a follow. That's goaltending.
Goaltending on Maddox. And the basket will be good for Calvin Booth.
Substitution number 42, Greg Stevenson.
Watch again, Booth down the inside. I've never been this high, Brad, but I assume when you're up there, it's kind of tough to lay off that ball when it's on the rim.
That's right. Harpring, another 3. This one rims out, and Booth will clear it ahead. Crispin Feeds it down to Stephens on the low block. Lisicky, and he's fouled by Spivey.
Boy, how quickly are they getting to Lisicky?
They're finding him.
Spivey was there, so was Glover.
I don't know how you jump, but by the way, you went in the Kentucky High School Hall of Fame last night. Our congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Played on a great team, had some wonderful teammates, but I guess all guys who played the game all feel that same way about the guys they played with.
I've heard as much, I think, about your high school team as I did about your Kentucky team. They must have been a good group of guys.
We had a good group.
In about every Hall of Fame Kentucky has now, except the horse racing one, and I know you can't bet that well, so you're probably safe.
Well, if you have a Hall of Fame, I'll travel.
Nice feed down to Stephens, and he kicks back outside. And was wide open, but Graves didn't pull the trigger until he got in the lane.
Well, that was a nice stop right there. He went inside, and nobody challenged him, so he went ahead and shot the ball.
Penn State goes back in front by 3, and Georgia Tech almost turned it over. So far, they have yet to turn it over this half. And that plagued them again in the first half tonight when they had a dozen.
I will say one thing. Penn State has kept their composure with a 9-0 run. They battled back to get in front again.
Maddox lost the handle going up. This one I said Georgia Tech hadn't turned it over. They do. Crispin penetrates, trying to leave it to Stephens, and he gave it right back to Georgia Tech.
Brent Graves, the freshman. Watch this nice move inside. Stephens gives him the basketball. He takes a look, goes right in there. Nobody here. All right, I'll shoot it. You got to challenge a guard when he comes in that deep into your defense.
Harpring has 15 points for Georgia Tech in this game. Maddox had his shot blocked by Booth. Booth gets his second of the night. Crispin on the other end. Didn't get the roll, and Alvin Jones got the rebound and the foul on Lisicky. That's Pete's first foul of the night. Penn State, though, just when they had given the lead back to Georgia Tech, has regained it, and they lead by 3.
What goes downstairs alone or in pairs and even goes off-road. A thing, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's amigo. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. Amigo, amigo, it's fun for a girl and a boy. Amigo, amigo, for sun and love and joy. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
Amigo, new from Isuzu, battery included.
Cedar, pine.
Every new employee at Flood goes to My Little Wood School.
Hey, it's fun!
It's mandatory.
Wood is porous, like a bunch of straws. That's why we have to protect the inside, too.
At Flood, we've created a whole line of great wood care products by creating a whole company of wood care experts.
Oak, pine, cedar, redwood.
Okay, to protect and beautify wood. Anybody?
CWFUV.
I knew that one.
Flood, how wood should be treated.
Here's to the weekend warrior in all of us, pushing our bodies beyond the norm. Mercifully, there's an advanced medicine called Advil. When the pain sets in, and it will, Advil works fast, right at the site of muscle pain, stopping it where it starts. Muscle aches to headaches, Advil relieves all kinds of pain. Advil simply lets people do what they love to do.
We thought we'd add a little magic to the NIT quarterfinals tonight, so we got a big magic. Magic Johnson, good to see you, partner.
Thanks,
in Atlanta, I know you've got some your theater complex here in town.
Yeah.
You've been a busy guy, though. A lot of basketball this week, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, come here, check out the game, and then go to Greensboro tomorrow and see my Michigan State Spartans play North Carolina. So hopefully we can get a victory.
All right, Magic, what do you think their chances are? You've watched them all year long.
I think we got to play one of our best games all season to beat North Carolina. To me, North Carolina is the best team in the nation. And they have 2 or 3 of the best players when you look at, you know, Shaman, you look at, of course, the #1 player, Antoine Jameson.
He reminds me a lot of you, by the way, too. I will tell you. Doesn't handle the ball like you do, but very good.
And his love for the game.
Right.
And then, you know, you got an excellent tradition and program in North Carolina. But I think Martine Cleaves is our leader. We have to play an error-free game because you know it's going to be 20,000 Tar Heel fans in there in the building. So we have to really play good basketball.
We know there'll be at least one Michigan State fan, though.
Oh, yeah. Tom Izzo's done a great job this year. He's already won one of the Coach of the Year awards. Michael Maddox scores for Georgia Tech. Mike's first field goal of the second half makes it a one-point ball game again.
Nice steal by Glover up front.
What do you think of this guy, Magic?
He's an excellent freshman. I think next year you'll see him coming to his own with Matt Harpring leaving. It'll be his show. And that freshman inside, the big man is
Alvin
also
Jones.
good, yes.
Jones blocked 9 shots the other night against Georgetown. He's got a couple tonight, but he is a presence in the lane. Here's Stevens on a hook.
Okay, that's a tough shot right there because Michael Maddox had him pinned pretty well with that knee and had him trying to root him out of there. Nice turn.
Maddox and Harpring on the right side.
Stevens' brother played at Michigan State, his older brother.
Inside Alvin Jones over Booth. Hello.
Oh, the battle of big men. Watch it again. Calvin Booth and Alvin Jones going to war in another stratosphere. What's this?
They offered Alvin Jones a table, and he said, no, I think I'll take a Booth.
I like that. But give Harpring the credit because he penetrated, and Booth had to pick him up, and a good dish to Jones for the dunk.
It's the way it always happens. The guy at the defensive center always has to go help.
Yes.
Opportunity for a three-point play goes by the boards, though, but Georgia Tech does regain the lead by 1.
Glover once again picking up a little bit further out now.
So far, Penn State has been unable to get Lisicky free this half. He's got it right now and puts it down on the baseline. Jumper there goes, and Greg Gray's had a nice game off the bench.
I'll tell you, you got to give Penn State a lot of credit. They've come in this hostile environment and really have played poised basketball and smart basketball as well.
Brings up a good point. They played at Dayton on Monday night, and when you go to Penn State, anybody that's had to fly into State College, they didn't get home until 2 in the morning. Glover misses a 3. They got just a little bit of sleep, had a 45-minute shoot-around, and then had to fly to Atlanta. Dion Glover tracks it down in the backcourt. Harpring underneath.
Takes a little pass and went straight up with it. Good idea. Got the defense reeling a little bit and then went up for an easy layup.
No, Larry, that's why he's going to make an excellent pro because he's so smart.
Magic, not only that, he's really a tough kid, too. And I think to play in the NBA, you got to have a little hard nose, too.
No question about it.
And now the crowd comes to life with a chant of defense. Georgia Tech by 1. 13:20 left in the ballgame. Magic Johnson along with us. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you. From Atlanta, where Georgia Tech's trying to advance to New York. Block shot underneath by Jones.
Now, that was a frustration shot by Pete because he had been getting free in the first half. He hasn't been able to get a good look in the second half, so, hey, let me fire this shot up, and no, that's not his shot right there.
That's way too far out for him. That's way beyond his range, about a step and a half, maybe 2 steps out. Watch again. You can see the ball hit off the front of the rim. If he's another step and a half in, that ball goes to the bottom of the net. You can see Jones with another block. Alvin Jones and Booth continue to do it. Strong off that inside.
3 block shots tonight for Alvin, 141 on the season. What a remarkable campaign for the freshman. Harpring going to work against Ivory. Nice rebound by Floyd. Missed the putback, though. And it's tracked down by Ivory, who's double-teamed on the baseline. Penn State can regain the lead if they score. Booth goes up against Maddox. And he's going to go to the free throw line.
I'm not sure that's a good idea to give the ball to Calvin Booth that far away from the basket. You don't give the ball to your center. If you can push it down the floor, let him get a little bit closer to the basket before you give it up to him. But Booth was able to handle it and get it in there and draw the foul.
He did a nice move. Most big men can't make moves like that. He put it down. He knew what he wanted to do and drew the foul.
The Big Ten's defensive player of the year, Calvin Booth, as he hits the free throw, and now he's in double figures tonight in scoring to go with his 8 rebounds.
Once again, watch Booth right here. He'll pick the ball up on a nice pass. Graves gives it up to him. I guess he knew exactly what he was doing because he was able to draw the foul.
Had a triple-double the other night. Magic Johnson made those routine, but for a big guy, 10 block shots, 10 rebounds in his 19 points. Here he is again off the glass.
He got a three-point play, the reverse. Got the free throw, then got the 2.
However you can get him, huh?
We're watching 2 of the best young big men in the game. I think next year you're going to see them be probably the 2 best big men in college basketball. Jones and Booth.
They're battling down low right now. Floyd got an open 15-footer. Ball loose underneath, and Jason tracks it down himself. Fresh shot clock. Harpring, dangerous pass cross court to Maddox.
Nice catch by Maddox.
Jones backs in on Booth on the baseline. And foul on who? Matt Harpring?
Harpring got it. He just simply reached up. Who did he throw down there? Was it Ivory? Titus Ivory?
Second foul on Matt Harpring. Magic, we'll let you go back and relax. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Irvin Magic Johnson joins us here in Atlanta. He'll go take his seat and enjoy this ball game, and we'll be back with more of it with Penn State in front by 2 when we return.
Accidents happen, and no matter where or when they do, the world's largest claim service network gets on the case immediately. Prompt, personal claim service is no accident. So we can get you back on the road faster than you can say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The only thing more unpredictable in nature is people, and I deal with both. You never know. Someone could be calling for a $25 titanium ice screw or a $25,000 expedition to Mount Everest. So I can't afford to miss a call. If I do, well, that means money. That's why I value GTE. Even out here, I know my calls aren't being dropped. Oops. Dropped. That's a bad word.
If you're not experiencing ultimate luxury, maybe you're in the wrong car. Introducing a new town car from Lincoln. Still exactly what a luxury car should be.
A game with 11 lead changes. Right now it's Penn State by 2.
Well, the two big guys have been going at it all night long. We're going to show you a little bit of the offensive work of Calvin Booth right here. Watch Alvin Jones try to get in position, but he got a nice little kiss off of the window. Booth doing nice work. Alvin Jones defensively trying to stop him. Here's the comparison between the two centers.
Not quite as much offense from Alvin Jones, but that's expected. That's the way he plays. It looks like both will definitely end up in double figures in rebounds tonight.
I think both are on their way to double-doubles.
Absolutely. So Penn State leading by 2 with 11:55 to go in the game. Alvin Jones sits right now. That takes some size away from Georgia Tech. They go with a smaller, quicker lineup. Floyd, Harpring, Maddox, Glover, and Vines on the floor for Georgia Tech. Stevens, Booth, Crispin with ball in hand. Ivory and Lisicky, and Glover with another steal. Dion the other way, and his bank shot ties it up.
Penn State just simply put the ball in the hands of Dion Glover. He didn't need any help that time. He took it all by himself.
Dion has 10.
Harpring doing a nice job defending Stevens inside. Vines got Lisicky now.
There's a mismatch with Booth and Maddox, although Maddox does go 6'9", and a senior knows how to play. Comes out of a trap by Crispin.
Well, Crispin did a nice job of taking care of that basketball, but he gets a 5-second call.
Good job by Floyd, and give credit to Maddox for being part of that. That's 6 turnovers in this half against Jerry Dunn's team.
Penn State substitution number 30.
Talk so much about Dion Glover's ability on the offensive end. He's got great quick hands. Look at that move right there to get the steal from Lisicky. Penn State gets back in a hurry, but Glover just pulls up and knocks one down off the window.
So we're tied at 45. Only our second tie of the game. 18-18 in the first half, and now Georgia Tech trying to change that, and Harpring's shot off the window comes out, but he will go to the free throw line for a couple.
Brad, once again, though, Stevens is guarding Harpring. He breaks loose. Then who commits the foul? It's Booth going to help. Watch this. See, now he gets free. Now Booth's got to try to help. He comes over and commits the foul.
And that's a third on Calvin. And that gives Penn State some problems down low. 3 on their big guy. Here's Harpring at the free throw line. He leads Georgia Tech all time in free throws attempted and made. He missed that one. He's made 503 free throws out of his 670 attempts, both Georgia Tech school records. Ripped the second one. Matt's got 18. And he's that much closer to being #1 all-time in Georgia Tech scoring. I love the fact that those fans have that over there. It saves me from having to do some math.
You and I both know how you are on math.
That's right. Georgia Tech by 1. Almost the midway point, second half. Booth backs in against Jones. Nice spin to the baseline, but Jones cut him off. Gray. That one rimmed out from 3. Alvin Jones the rebound.
Boy, Alvin Jones was terrific on that sequence.
Glover penetrates. Finger roll blocked by Booth. Harpring got it back, and he's fouled. And if it's Booth, it's 4, and it is. And now there's all kinds of trouble. That's going to bring a substitution quickly off the Penn State bench. Booth can't believe it, but he is the guy that got Harpring.
Well, Booth's going to go to the bench, but this is a situation where he's almost got to let Matt Harpring go on and take it in. Watch Glover with this maneuver down inside. He got the first block right there. Then Harpring comes up with a loose ball. You can see Glover go to the deck. And he comes back and fouls Harpring. And let's see it again. Watch now. You'll see right here. He'll go up to the right side. Got him on the right shoulder as he threw it up. Good call.
Matt Harpring with that offensive rebound. That is his 5th rebound of the night, and he's closing in on 1,000 rebounds to go with his 2,200-plus points. There you see Booth going out now.
But Brad, they can't leave him over here for very long. I've got to believe Jerry Dunn's probably going to let him sit for maybe 4 to 5 minutes, and they've got to get him back.
It's too much of a presence inside, altering shots. Matt Harpring got both of them there. Harpring's got 20 points. Another great night by the senior, playing his final game on this floor. He wants to make it a memorable one. Good backdoor cut by Gray.
What a great pass by Stevens. Jarrett Stephens with a good look to inside the Gray.
Georgia Tech clinging to a 1-point lead. Georgia Tech started a 9-0 run to begin this half to take the lead, and now we've seesawed back and forth with lead changes and a tie. Alvin Jones lost it going up. There was a reason, as he's fouled by Ivory.
Watch Greg Gray's right, but more importantly, watch Stevens deliver the basketball. Boy, that was a nice play. Jason Floyd got hung up on a screen on the right side. Free throw line extended, and it was an easy layup.
I agree with what Magic Johnson said about Alvin Jones. I mean, you look around as far as freshman big man, and although he is not a huge offensive threat right now, you know that part of his game will improve. He has 10 rebounds and 3 block shots tonight to go with his 6 points. So you add him to Jason Collier, who transferred from Indiana. There's Georgia Tech's front line for the future.
Well, those are pretty good numbers right there. But the thing about him, and I agree with both of you, that he's going to get better offensively. But the thing I like about him is his aggressiveness. I mean, he really gets after it.
And last touch, that loose ball by Penn State. Pete Lisicky is arguing his case to the officials to no avail, and it'll be Georgia Tech ball after missing the free throws. Coach Dunn doesn't believe it either. His team played so well in that first half, and it is a hostile environment here at Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Glover, a little finger roll. Somebody should have left that one alone. It might have fallen in. Whoops, a little dance going on between Jones and Cline-Heard right now.
I think the dance cards are filled up. they had dosed enough out there.
And the foul's on Jones.
Good screen by Harpring. Glover goes down the lane, misses an easy layup. Jones got an easy one there too, but good strong rebound in there by Cline-Heard. Cline-Heard's son. Or is the assistant coach of the 76ers.
Stevens, Georgia Tech backs off him. Lisicky has not scored this half. Credit Georgia Tech's defense in this first 11 minutes of this half. 7 on the shot clock. Now Lisicky is the man that'll take the shot from the baseline. Short. Jones, the rebound, and he's fouled trying to get the outlet pass. Don't forget to tune in to ESPN this weekend. Exciting NASCAR action from the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Saturday at 4, it's the Diamond Hill Plywood 200. Then on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, Dale Jarrett hopes to repeat as a Trans-South Financial 400 champion. That's NASCAR action this weekend right here on ESPN. We're kind of revving things up in Atlanta tonight. This is quarterfinal play, and the winner goes on to New York. Our other game tonight, Marquette in Minnesota at Williams Arena, will follow us. Jones back to the free throw line. Alvin has missed 3. I'll make it 4 in a row this half. I think Harpring's going to pick up a push-off foul on this rebound, attempting to get the ball up after the missed free throw.
Harpring now some foul trouble. That's 3 on him.
Georgia Tech foul on number 15, Matt Harpring. That's his third.
Second half, unlike the first half, we were almost foul-free in the first half. Both clubs now already. Penn State with 9, Georgia Tech with 6.
Harpring, the most troublesome spot right now for Georgia Tech with 3. But Booth and Ivory both sitting with 4 for the Nittany Lions. Lisicky, nice give and go to Stevens in the paint. Penn State back in front.
When he doesn't have his shot, it doesn't bother his game at all. He simply gives it up to the guy rolling to the basket.
They try to lob it to Dion Glover, and a little bit too much on the pass. Turnover Georgia Tech, back on the Nittany Lions. Stevens underneath again. Missed that one. Loose ball out of bounds to Georgia Tech.
Too easy was that time for Penn State, and they couldn't get either one of them to go down. The layup and the follow-up.
8:22 left in the ball game.
Watch Pete Lisicky right here. Nice pass. Jarrett Stephens breaks to the basket. He just simply catches it. Goes up over Harpring. Easy one. Nice play. Lisicky with a good bounce pass.
Alvin Jones tonight has 12 rebounds, Larry. That's a career high.
May get a few more with Booth over there.
That's right. And a little touch foul down low. Maddox working against Cline-Heard. And Gyasi picks up his 3rd foul.
Maddox very tough to guard when he's down in the with the back to the basket on that block.
Michael Maddox, a 69% free throw shooter. 5 points for Mike tonight. Played high school ball right here in Atlanta too at Mays High. Georgia Tech has to start hitting their free throw.
No hesitation about him when he gets the ball at the free throw line. It just goes down one time and goes up.
Penn State substitution number 42.
Tied at 49 right now.
Replacing number 32.
And Lisicky with an offer right now in the second half. Maddox missed the second free throw, so we remain tied at 49.
I think it's a pretty good coaching move by Jerry Dunn to get Lisicky out of there. I mean, he's not making his shot. He'll sit over there and relax a little bit. He'll get him back in.
How about Crispin? A little fadeaway in the lane.
Yeah, I talked to the coaches before the game tonight. They're trying to make him more of a passer and less of a shooter. Hard to do when you come out of high school averaging 32 a game.
That's right. Penn State by 2. Georgia Tech looking to tie it up. Maddox was 1-on-1 against Stevens. Spivey penetrates Glover, had an open 3 and gave it up for that. Oh! How quick to the basket is he? Not only down the lane, but up. 51-51. Floyd played for the steal, and Graves comes up firing a 3. Boy, he hits a big shot.
He had 2 people go after him that time, and he was still able to knock it down.
That's 13 points for Greg Graves, the freshman out of Southfield, Michigan, off the Penn State bench, and he's just given his team a 3-point lead. Floyd to try to tie it. And he's fouled by Graves, and Jason can earn him at the free throw line. So 3 free throws fell up to Georgia Tech.
I think if there's one play in college basketball that drives coaches crazy, it's to foul a guy on a 3-point attempt.
The only thing worse is fouling him and the ball goes in, then you get a 4-point play.
That's
but
right.
This one is a killer. As Gary will look on and watch Jason Floyd go to the stripe for 3. One.
I tell you, that's an eternity to stand there and watch a guy shoot 3 free throws.
Jason, 6'6" sophomore out of Hampton, Georgia. That was his first point of the night. Had 5 the other night. He had a huge night with 15 in the opening round win over Seton Hall. And now he'll try to make it 3 straight and give us yet another tie. It'll be the 4th tie of this half if he hits it. With exactly 7 minutes to go in regulation. We'll say it that way because we know what happened the other night. 7 to play. Tied at 54, courtesy of Dion Glover and company.
Well, 1 minute 50 to play. 7 to play. Tied at 54, courtesy of Dion Glover and company.
No matter where you go, no matter how hard you look, you'll never find a bigger selection and lower price on a new Subaru anywhere but right here at Becker Subaru. Who else can offer a new 98 Outback with all-wheel drive, air, cassette, and much more, all for the low price of only $19,995? No one but the largest Subaru dealer in the East. Others can try, but they'll never come close to Becker Subaru, Route 222 in West Coatesville.
I've been a surgeon for over 30 years, and over those years have learned to know most of the physicians in the Lehigh Valley. Sacred Heart Hospital has an excellent reputation among the physicians and their patients. My patients are most impressed with the special attention they receive. Many of them refer to the care they receive at Sacred Heart as being treated like family. Sacred Heart has a unique compassion for its patients.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
What's that?
All these teams are chasing with the Yankees.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Hold the club like you're holding a bird. You don't want to hold it too tight that you crush him, or too loose that he flies away. Head behind the ball. You're getting so good at that. Head down. That is nice. Got him.
7 minutes left in the ball game. 54-54. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley with you from Alexander Memorial Coliseum, where Georgia Tech is trying to win its third NIT game in a row at home. Penn State trying to win on the road again. And whoever survives this one goes on to Madison Square Garden next week.
They'll take on an SEC opponent. Vanderbilt and Georgia squaring off against each other.
Matt Harpring, the leading scorer of the ball game with 20 for Georgia Tech. Pete Lisicky has been shut out so far in this second half for the Nittany Lions, but he's back in there right now, and you'll bet he'll be running around some screens. Grace has helped pick up some of the slack. There is Lisicky around the screen. Missed a three. Stevens keeps it alive with the offensive rebound.
But I still think he's a little bit out of his range.
Graves has been the guy that's been hot this game. 16 points for Greg Gray. He did this against Michigan. He had 6 threes against the Wolverines in the regular season, part of an 18-point package that night, and he's just given Penn State a 3-point lead. Glover lost the handle. Georgia Tech has been much better with the basketball this half. What they do, turn it over there and give it right back to the Nittany Lions. Crispin got by Glover. And now it's Grays again. Almost tipped in by Stevens, and now adding to his career-high night on the glass is Alvin Jones with another rebound, his 13th.
I've got to believe Terry Dunn is thinking about Booth right now.
Spivey on the baseline, ran into some traffic and lost the ball. Back-to-back turnovers for Georgia Tech. 3-on-2. Penn State. Stevens is fouled by Maddox.
Well, back-to-back turnovers by Georgia Tech has enabled Penn State not only to get a 3-point lead, but now to add to it. You got to take advantage of the turnovers. Watch Spivey right here. He goes into heavy traffic right there. Could have gone either way. The foul, nothing's called, and the pushing up the floor. Nice job by Greg Graves. Gives it up. There's Stevens right now picking it up and drawing the foul for Maddox.
Penn State's bench has outscored Georgia Tech tonight, 26-3. Now, Jarrett Stephens, who's at the line, is considered part of that bench, even though he plays a lot more minutes than does Carl Jackson, who started tonight. But Jarrett Stephens has 11 points tonight, and it's been Greg Graves, the freshman, with 16, that has helped keep Penn State in front.
Now, all of a sudden, you focus your defense on another guard. You start looking at Graves instead of Lisicky. Maybe Lisicky comes back into it again.
Vines and Crispin out on top. Georgia Tech in a 5-point hole again. Once again, hoping they can dig their way out of it. Matt Harpring calling the play out on the wing. 15 on the shot clock, 5:15 left in the game.
I say, give Penn State credit. They've been able to do this without Booth in the lineup.
Harpring has a look up at the opposite end score clock and shot clock and fires a three. And he's 10 points short of the all-time Georgia Tech scoring record, he's not worried about that right now. More importantly, he's just cut into the Penn State lead, back to a deuce. Lisicky working against Vines and got TJ up in the air, and Vines fouls him. So Lisicky, who is just basically your best free throw shooter in the country, will go to the free throw line, his first trip to the stripe tonight.
Just basically. There's nobody any better. Well, Lisicky has struggled the second half. Watch Vines right here. Good arm extension, maybe a little hole right there, but gets it over. Good fake. Got him up in the air. Lisicky tried to go for the shot. He hit a couple of them.
Pete is 98 of 106 this year. That is 92.5% from the free throw line. Almost automatic.
How about 88% for his career?
That's phenomenal. So many games won and lost at the free throw line, and this is the kind of guy that can go there and win them for you. He rips two. Never a doubt on either. It's a 4-point ball game with 4:42 remaining in the action in Atlanta.
Lisicky's guarding Harpring now.
And the feed down to Jones, and the foul underneath, and now is probably the time we'll see Booth come back in, because Gyasi Cline-Heard has just picked up his fourth foul as well. Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern on ABC Sports, the stars of the Senior Tour pair up for the Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf. Four-time winners Lee Trevino and Mike Hill compete against such stars as Chichi Rodriguez and Harold Henning. Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern on ABC. Alvin Jones has really struggled at the free throw line tonight and has killed Georgia Tech this half. He has missed 5 straight.
In fact, he has struggled all year long. Came into the game at 57%. I think Jerry Dunn's going to wait one more possession because he gets a media timeout here in a minute.
And finally, Alvin gets off the schneid there from the free throw line. 1 for 6 from the stripe, and he's going to get a breather, and he'll get at least a 32-second plus breather because Booth isn't coming back in either. So Bobby Cremins is playing the same chess match that Larry's talking about. Keep his big man on the bench as long as their big man is still sitting over there. And a 20-second timeout taken by Penn State. This might be when we see Booth come back in. In fact, he just went to the scorer's table. So Calvin Booth will come back into the lineup, playing with 4 fouls. His replacement likewise has 4. Whoever wins this one goes to New York, and they will meet the winner of the Vandy, Georgia game, which is up the road in Athens tomorrow night at Stegman Coliseum. And how about that? 2 SEC teams squaring off there. And if Georgia Tech would survive this game and win, it could possibly set up a Georgia Tech-Georgia matchup in the Final Four. That'd be kind of fun.
Indeed it would.
Hawaii and Fresno State, and the Marquette, Minnesota game follows us. Well, the big man is back in, and Georgia Tech leaves theirs on the bench. Alvin Jones going to get a little bit more of a breather until at least the TV timeout. And Maddox will have to play Booth, and that's in this match. Harpring played for the steal, and what he got for his efforts was his 4th foul. And now, trouble there as Georgia Tech's leader has picked up his 4th.
Well, this does not bode well for Georgia Tech. Watch Harpring come to the right side. He just simply reached out and grabbed the arm of Jarrett Stephens.
Matt, though he does play aggressive defense, he's not usually a guy to get in foul trouble, but he is in a heap of it right now. Stephens right back to the free throw line where he's perfect tonight. Jarrett's hit 3 in a row in this half, and he got 13 points for the game. (63 to 58), 5-point ball game as we approach the 4-minute mark. Penn State trying to pull an upset on the road. Vines pulls up for 3. He was big the other night. He's big again right now. Even though he only stands 5'10", he's big. He had 3 triples the other night. He's made it a 2-point game. Crispin has made it a 4-point game just that quick. Boy, he knows what to do in the lane and knows how to get his shot away.
But I can't say enough complimentary things about this backcourt of Penn State. All 3 of those guards have really been great tonight.
Maddox, he'll try a dribble. Got it. Georgia Tech this year had 225 threes coming into this game, and they're starting to use that outside shooting. They've made it a 1-point ball game. .3:15 to go. 65-64. And timeout was taken by the Penn State bench with 3:13 left to play. Nittany Lions clinging to a 1-point lead. But T.J. Vines and Michael Maddox with back-to-back threes have made it a 1-point ball game. Don't go away.
The new Lincoln Town Car poses a dilemma for your accountant. Is it travel or entertainment? The new Town Car from Lincoln. Still exactly what a luxury car should be.
You ever been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor? Have you ever knowingly returned a videotape without rewinding it first? Have you ever purchased support hose? Have you ever worn support hose for purposes other than support?
Now there's a tire that can survive even this. The Goodyear Eagle F1 Run Flat. Even with no air pressure, Goodyear Run Flat technology lets you drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour to safety, so you won't get stuck with a flat. Serious technology, freedom from worry. Eagle F1 Run Flat.
Serious freedom.
Only from Goodyear.
Goodyear, Goodyear.
A 1-point game with 3:13 left in regulation play. Crispin just hit a big shot in the paint a little while ago, Larry.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this backcourt, I'm talking about all three guards for Penn State have been outstanding. What's that nice move into the paint area? As I said, they've tried to make Crispin more of a passer instead of a shooter. But all three of these guys, Greg Graves, Joe Crispin, Pete Lisicky, all three have done yeoman's work tonight.
They've combined for 42 of Penn State's 65 points. 12 on the shot clock, by the way. That timeout was called with the shot clock starting to wind down. It's in single digits now. And it looks as if Penn State wants it in Lisicky's hands from downtown. Came up short. A rebound, T.J. Vines. Georgia Tech can regain the lead if they score. Tech is 4 of 6 outside the arc in this half. And their back-to-back three-pointers by Vines and Maddox is what has them within striking distance. Glover, one-on-one against Lisicky. Got away and blocked by Booth.
There's the presence of Booth, how important he is to that defense. That's why he's back in there.
That was a heck of a move, but an even better rejection by Calvin Booth. Booth offensively with Maddox all over him. We're down to 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Underneath, Booth got a three, and he's going to have a chance for a three.
What a great pass by Lisicky. Booth rolled to the basket off of the screen. They were concentrating so much on keeping Lisicky down. Maddox just left him alone. Too late to get there. Booth gets the basket, a chance for a three-point play.
Calvin is 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. 14 points on the evening. 4 block shots and 8 rebounds.
Well, what a presence he is for this club. That's a big basket for Penn State.
Missed the free throw, though. So a 3-point game with 2:10 left. Trying to feed Harpring. He stumbled, and the ball thrown away by Glover. A blown opportunity by Georgia Tech to try to tie things up. Getting very quiet in Alexander Memorial Coliseum. They don't lose often here in non-conference play under the Bobby Cremins regime. In fact, they've lost only 3 times in 103 non-conference games since he's been here. Booth, boy, that's a nice move.
How important has he been coming back off of that bench with those 4 fouls? 2 back-to-back baskets by the big center from Penn State.
And Georgia Tech takes a timeout. A full timeout for Georgia Tech with 1:27 remaining in the ball game, and Georgia Tech in trouble. Penn State trying to pull another one off here on the road.
If you're not experiencing ultimate luxury, maybe you're in the wrong car. Introducing a new town car from Lincoln. Still exactly what a luxury car should be.
Our keynote speaker holds a PhD in chemistry and serves as director of our North American facility. Please join me in welcoming Dr. James Dalrymple.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Brad Nessler and Larry Conley at Alexander Memorial Coliseum, where the Penn State Nittany Lion fans are holding on right now to a 5-point advantage.
Watch Calvin Booth coming off the bench with 4 fouls, gets right in the middle of the fray. Nice block right there to save a basket against Georgia Tech. Then once he gets it on the offensive end, watch him go up over Alvin Jones, number 3 shot blocker in the nation. Boy, Booth has been big since he's come back.
There's the numbers on Calvin Booth. Even though they're wrong, he has 16 points.
Triple-double the other night, and maybe on his way to a double-double tonight.
There's the reset. Timeout situation remaining. Both teams double bonus and free throws. Georgia Tech has the ball, but they trail by 5. They might need some of that long-range magic. Harpring. Vines gave up a 3. Maddox will take one. And it rimmed out. Harpring tips it to himself to keep it alive.
Well, what a battle Matt Harpring just put on to get that ball back.
I think that foul's on Ivory, but he's gone.
State foul on number 33, Titus Ivory. That's his 5th.
Ivory will lead with 1:05 left.
I'll tell you what, Harpring did a terrific job of getting that ball back to himself. He is complaining about the foul, but he's gone. And now Jerry Dunn has another decision to make. What's he going to do? Come back with that guard lineup again?
He loses Ivory with 1:05 left.
I come back with Graves again. I think he's the guy that's been playing the best.
He's had a great game scoring. There he is, number 30. He has a couple of threes, 16 points on the night. And now Matt Harpring will walk to the free throw line. Matt missed 2 free throws at the end of overtime against Georgetown the other night that left the opening for the Hoyas to win, and they missed basically a layup with about 2.5 seconds left, or they would have been in the quarterfinals. Harpring does not miss that one. There's Mom and Dad looking on. Jack's got a frown on his face.
Yes, he does. Somewhat pensive look there.
His son's got 24. Now 25 points. And keeping Georgia Tech in it. Bobby Cremins takes a 22nd timeout. 3-point game with 65 seconds to go. So Georgia Tech is down to 1 timeout, 1 full, and 1:20. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2, NHL action. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim battle the Philadelphia Flyers. New Flyers head coach Roger Nielsen. He's perfect so far, 3-0-1. Tomorrow night, 7:30 on the Deuce, the Flyers and the Mighty Ducks. It's been a mighty good game again here tonight. You see the timeout story, each with a 20 and a full timeout left.
Been thoroughly entertained this week at Alexander Memorial Coliseum.
No doubt about it. Been a lot of basketball in this city in the last week. A regional was held here, and then an NIT game Monday, and then again tonight. Crispin dribbles through traffic. And we're under a minute.
Penn State's going to hold the ball. Tech needs to stop, and I think Vines is going to get a foul.
And he fouls the second best free throw shooter on the Penn State team.
Yeah, he's only at 86%.
Yeah. Don't forget Marquette, Minnesota. The Golden Eagles and Golden Gophers are coming up next from Williams Arena. Stick around for that one. Minnesota, after their sensational run into the NCAA tournament and the Final Four last year, trying to make the Final Four NIT field this year. Joe Crispin, almost automatic as well.
I'll tell you what, when these guys shoot free throws, the net doesn't move.
He missed a free throw the other night, and it stopped his own freshman record at 23 straight. He started a brand new streak here tonight, 1 for 1, and trying to give his team the 5-point lead does. Georgia Tech needing every second, so Vines lets it roll, finally comes into the front court. 2-possession game. Tech needs a deuce and a 3 to force overtime. Maddox will take a 3. Rebound, Glover. Hard fought, stuck it back in there, and another Georgia Tech timeout.
You see Booth back off. Glover went up, had the easy shot. I think Booth could have blocked the shot, but he didn't want to take the chance of picking up his 5th foul. Maddox takes the long-range jumper, comes off the front of the rim. Good rebound by Dion Glover. Now watch Booth. See, he just backs off. I think that's a smart move. Stay in the game.
Georgia Tech now has only one 20-second timeout left. Here's another look from underneath. Good position by Glover.
Great position by Glover.
He really used his body well. He's 6'5", but he's built like a football player. And he's had another excellent night, 14 points for Dion. Just a freshman in the all-freshman team in the ACC and the number 3 freshman scorer in the entire country.
In fact, he and Jones both made that all-ACC freshman
That's
team.
right. That's some pretty good talent on that club. O'Kelly and Glover, your backcourt with Inge and Battier and Jones up front. I think I could win some games with that group.
You coaching?
I just throw it out there and say, hey, guys, block some shots, hit some threes. 71-68. Georgia Tech is a 3 short right now with 40.5 left. Is the sting gone in the Yellow Jackets? We'll find out here in the next 40 seconds.
Well, right now they need to stop. And you know Penn State's going to hold on to that basketball. And I knew 2 guys are going to be handling it most of the time. It's going to be Pete Lisicky and Joe Crispin.
Absolutely. Want to say hello to Dave Ukelson, who is the sports psychologist at Penn State. And Dave has had some physical problems. Just got out of the hospital. He would be here with the team, and a lot of the players were asking about him. And we just want to say hello to Dave and hope he's feeling better. And he gets his best sent from his team. And his team is up by 3 right now. Well, Georgia Tech needs just a minor miracle tonight to send this game to either another stanza or for a win. They had to come from 16 down against Georgetown the other night in the second half in a wacky finish here at the Coliseum, and it's going to take something like that again tonight, or it'll be Penn State of the Big Ten.
You know, Brad, in all 3 of the games they played in the NIT, they've had to come back in the second half.
That's right. Seton Hall had them down at halftime. They were down 16 in the second half against Georgetown, and now they find themselves in a 3-point hole here and some full court pressure. They don't want to foul Lisicky if they can help it. Graves had it swiped by Glover. Spivey, now Harpring, got his man in the air. Took the shot, no foul called, and Lisicky picks up the backside rebound. And now Tech again fighting for the loose ball, and a foul called. Georgia Tech did not need to hurry a shot there, and they did.
Yeah, I think Matt Harpring got in the corner, decided he wanted to take a 3. Really didn't have it, but he was already committed in the air. Look, he thinks he's going to get fouled, and Lisicky goes right by him. Cremins wants a foul. He's not going to get it. What a smart play. Lisicky just floated right on by him, didn't touch him.
And that fouls Michael Maddox out of the Georgia Tech lineup, too. So they lose one of their 3-point shooters as the senior has played his last moment on the court here, and he knows it. And he's been a very good player his 4-year stay. But he leaves with 9 points tonight and 24.7 left. So Jason Floyd will take his spot in the Georgia Tech lineup. They really don't lose that much 3-point shooting. Maddox had 47 threes coming to this game. Floyd has 44. So there's 2 of your 3-point shooters, Floyd and Harpring. But they need the ball back right now. That's what they're worried about. Trailing by 3, and with the best free throw shooter in the country going to the stripe, you figure you're going to be down 5 when you take it down court the next time.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 1-and-1. He's going to have 2 shots.
Lisicky, perfect. 3 for 3 tonight, 17 points for the senior, and he wants to extend his collegiate career as he's become the #2 scorer in Penn State basketball history, past Deron Hayes earlier in this contest. So he's #2, Harpring's #2 on their respective clubs' all-time record books. That's most impressive. Certainly is. And Pete rips another one. Lisicky's got 18. It's a 2-possession game as we are down now to 20 seconds. Tech's got to get it in the air in a hurry. Fine. Has to penetrate. Puts the shot up and got it to go. And Georgia Tech uses its final timeout.
20-second timeout.
73-70.
Some question right now about the timeout. They got a 20?
They've got one left. That was it. That was their final 20.
Nice move by Vines down inside. There's going to be a 2-possession game for them anyway. They need to come back and get the ball.
Well, I don't know if it's an omen or not, but the Nittany Lions just ran out with a flag and wiped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not throw any objects on the court.
And with his appearance came a few pieces of debris from the Georgia Tech crowd, and thus you hear the announcement in the background. 73-70.
Matt Harpring getting his marching instructions from Bobby Cremins over there. I've got to believe they've got a foul immediately, but I know what Penn State's going to do. They're going to put it in the hands of Crispin or Lisicky.
Everybody that Penn State's got out there is 70 or above free throw, including Grays, who's fouled by Spivey, and Grays is an 85% free throw shooter. They just didn't have a choice. They had 3 guys in there that are 85 or better.
Georgia Tech foul on number 11.
And you know they weren't going to throw it into one of the big guys if they could avoid it. Spivey picks up the foul. And now Greg Grays, who has been so huge tonight with a 16-point outing, goes up with a chance to add 2 more to the total and maybe send his team to New York. These could be the 2 that do it right here.
Well, these guys are just automatic.
They led the Big Ten in free throw shooting as a team. They've showed why tonight, and that's why you win ball games. And this one might be the one that seals Georgia Tech season and sends Penn State to Madison Square Garden.
Penn State substitution.
Graves goes out now. Good substitution. Greg Stevenson back in for defensive purposes.
Remember, Georgia Tech, even if they score, cannot stop the clock. Spivey will bring it up. The under 10 when he gets into the front court. Try to backdoor pass to Harpring. And finally a foul called on the baseline. It took a long time just to get the foul. I think it's going to be on Matt Harpring. If it is, he'll leave his Georgia Tech career fouling out with 3.5 seconds to go. And I think everybody in here will be on their feet. 25-point night. He ends his Georgia Tech career 8 points short of being the all-time leading scorer. And he fouls out with 3.5 seconds remaining in the ball game. We've seen the end to a lot of eras in this building, from the Kaiser and Youngkus years and through the Price and Sally campaigns, and then Forrest and Best and Kenny Anderson and Marbury and Dwayne Farrell and all the way down the list. But that young man's jersey, once he graduates in June, goes up to join that group atop the Coliseum Dome.
And it belongs up there because Matt Harpring has had a terrific career here. He's been one of the most popular players I think I've ever seen come through this program.
Stevens did miss the free throw, but Georgia Tech, quite frankly, is just out of timeout. Out of timeouts, 3rd-team All-American. And the ball loose, picked up. Penn State's going to New York. And they do it in splendid fashion with a tough road game. They did it at Dayton. They did it again tonight. Georgia Tech had regained the lead in the second half, but the Nittany Lions come back and win it 75-70. That's going to do it for us. For Larry Conley and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Atlanta. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Don't forget, Marquette and Minnesota, our next game in NIT play, and it is coming up next.
Okay, Brad, Sam Jacobson and the Gophers, as you mentioned, hosting Marquette, the first meeting between the schools since 1988. We'll get you out to Minneapolis in just a couple of minutes.
This is senior.